Okay, so you've been served a copy of the judgment. You don't know how in the world this happened. Yeah, you got some letters from some bankruptcy attorneys that said you were being sued, but you thought they were scams. You didn't know it was true, and you don't ever remember being served a copy of the complaint. Nobody in your house says they were served the complaint, but somehow this creditor has gotten a judgment against you. Can you take them to court? Can you fight it and say you were never properly notified and served? Yeah, you could, but you're going to probably spend a lot of money doing that. But is the debt real? I mean, if it really is real and you really do owe it, maybe you really do need to consider Chapter 13 and Chapter 7. Are there other debts that you have that maybe it might be time to deal with the situation? The problem is not going away by itself. You buried your head in the sand before, and that's how you got stuck with this judgment. So what do you do now? Or better yet, what's going to happen if you don't do anything? Well, listen, if you own a house, um, bad news for you because you waited so long and now this debt is now a judgment against you. If you have something called exposed equity in your house, meaning that your house is worth more than what you owe, and you've got so much equity in your house that I can't exempt it all under Georgia law. Well, now you're going to have to pay interest back in a Chapter 13 to get rid of this judgment. And that can add up to a lot of money. So it really is not a good idea to wait until it's turned into a judgment. Take care of the problem beforehand. But what's going to happen if you bury your head in the sand further and don't do anything? Step one, they're going to take this judgment and file a FIFA with the court, writ of fieri facies. You can Google that. I've done a video on that before too. If you want to know more details about what you can do with a FIFA, but they are going to after they put the lien on your house, the next step they're going to do is to start hunting for checking and savings account. Any account that you are tied to, they are going to try to clean it out. And then somehow they always find out where you work. And under Georgia law, they can yank 25% of your net. Now, you may say to yourself, well, that can't be right because then I won't be able to pay my rent. I won't be able to pay my food. Yes, under Georgia law, they really can take 25% of your net. Is it too late to file Chapter 13 or file Chapter 7? No, it's never too late to file. But again, there are negative consequences from waiting. Why delay the inevitable? Why not just take care of things proactively so you don't have to pay more interest if you own a house, or you don't have to mess around with having your wages garnished. A lot of people don't realize this, but if your employer gets served a garnishment, they're not super happy about that because under Georgia law, if they screw up the garnishment, they can become liable for the full amount of the debt. So if somebody has a civil judgment against you, don't play around with this. Don't ignore this. So one of the greatest things about Chapter 13 and Chapter 7 is the automatic stay. Think of it like a magic umbrella that covers you and protects you as soon as your case gets filed. That's the key, is to get a case number. So, if you're in a tough spot in a tight situation and you think like as soon as you talk to a bankruptcy attorney that's it, the judgment stuff stops and the creditor actions all stop. No, no, it's the case number that triggers it. Once your case is filed and you have a case number, that's when the automatic stay comes out and gives you protection. So whether you're filing a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 7, in most cases, we can file a motion to avoid any type of judicial lien, unless you've just got so much equity that we can't get rid of it. Now, what types of cases that you might have a civil judgment that we really can't do anything with? Of course, one of those is going to be child support. If somebody's suing you for child support and it's a chunk of money, we can file and try to pay that judgment out over time. But that's not something that's going away or that we're going to get rid of. That's going to be considered non-dischargeable. What happens is there's a judgment against you that's related to fraud and deception. That's also probably going to be one of those debts that's considered non-dischargeable. We're happy to talk to you, but make sure you give us all the details, because if there's anything in that judgment that even hints that it's related to fraud or deception, that's another type of judgment we're not going to be able to get rid of. Let's talk about DUIs. If you have been involved in a DUI, those, unfortunately, anything you get sued relating to that DUI, it's not going to be non-dischargeable. If you hurt somebody and injured them, and the insurance did not cover all the cost, you are on the hook for that debt. That is another exception to discharge, whether it's 13 or 7. Now, most civil judgments that related to credit card debt, regular loans, that kind of stuff, we're one way or the other, we're going to be able to help you find a way to take care of that through a Chapter 13 or Chapter 7. But the key is, don't ignore the problem. I get it. I understand why people do. It's, stress can be debilitating, but you've got to realize you are in control. You can take action, and you need to explore your rights and learn. I've got a free book on Chapter 13 and Chapter 7 on my website that you can download. It doesn't cost you anything. I also have a lot of free information on my YouTube channel, Kelly Can Help. We have a podcasting website as well, kellybankruptcy.com. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Hey, before you go, I want to ask you something real quick. If you are watching this video, you're probably dealing with some kind of financial stress right now. Maybe it is a wage garnishment. Maybe it is creditors calling. Maybe you're just trying to figure out if bankruptcy is even something you should consider. And I want you to know you came to the right place. My name is Jeff Kelly. I have been a bankruptcy attorney here in Georgia since 1998. That is nearly 30 years of helping everyday Georgians get out from under debt that feels completely impossible. And everything on this channel, every single video, is free. No gimmicks, no paywall, just real answers. Here is why I want you to subscribe. Most people who end up filing bankruptcy tell me the same thing. I wish I had called you sooner. And a lot of that comes down to not knowing what your options are. This channel exists to fix that. I put out new videos every week covering the stuff people actually ask me about. What happens to your car, your house, your tax refund, your wages? Real questions, real answers. When you subscribe, you will be the first to know when a new video drops. And if you are going through something specific that you would like me to cover, drop it in the comments. I read them. Sometimes those comments turn into the next video. Now, I also want to invite you to visit my website. Go to kellycanhelp.com. That is KELLYCANHELP.com. On the website, you can learn more about your options. Read about Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and find out whether filing might be right for your situation. And when you're ready to talk to someone, there's a link right on the homepage to schedule a free consultation with my office. No pressure, no obligation, just a real conversation about where you stand. You do not have to figure this out alone. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and let me be a resource for you. Go to kellycanhelp.com. I am Jeff Kelly, and I am here to help.